What's up guys, my name is Ace, and it looks like they're really ramping up the anti-cheat for Modern Warfare 2. However, it looks like this may end up causing a lot of problems for a bunch of legitimate players. So diving right in, it looks like with the launch of Modern Warfare 2, you're going to have to add a phone number to your account. And at first glance, this may not really seem like a big deal. I mean, with Warzone, I think it was like a couple years ago, they started requiring people to add their phone numbers to their account in order to sort of verify them and try to prevent people from creating new accounts after being banned for cheating. The problem with that system though is it was incredibly easy to bypass because you can either buy a prepaid SIM card for next to no money at all, which will give you a new phone number that you can use for that, or you could even go the voice over IP route and generate a phone number there and use that for your authentication. So this effectively didn't really do anything to help with the cheating problem. This time around with Modern Warfare 2, they're really buffing up that system, and it looks like they're going to be requiring a phone number from a post-paid plan. So you're going to have a contract with a data plan in order for your phone number to work. You can't use a prepaid phone number, and you can't use voice over IP numbers, which should add a pretty big hurdle in front of cheaters trying to evade a ban and create a new account. And on top of that, I should mention another positive side effect of this is an automatic two-factor authentication, which should make your account more secure. And that sounds nice because a big issue with Warzone is many times people were having their accounts hacked, and then people would cheat on that hacked account, getting that account banned. And obviously that's frustrating for somebody that didn't cheat, never did anything wrong, but they had their account hacked, and there's no way of recovering that. So this is definitely not all bad, and I did want to lay out some of the upsides to this and why they would be doing this. However, I feel like the side effects of this are going to be harming a good chunk of people that use prepaid phones. And we already recently saw this with the launch of Overwatch 2. This is using the exact same system that Modern Warfare 2 is going to be using, and there were a ton of people that were unable to play the game at all because they use prepaid phones. Now, after a ton of backlash against that, they did loosen things up a little bit, and they made it so if you played Overwatch from more than a year ago, then you didn't have to add your phone number because I guess you would already be considered a trusted account. If you haven't been banned yet and you've been playing over a year, then you're trusted enough that they can sort of grandfather you in. But at this point, we don't quite have all the details on how they're planning to work this with Modern Warfare 2. We don't know if they're going to have that same sort of forgiveness where if your account was created a while ago and you've been playing Call of Duty for a long time without ever being banned, then you get grandfathered in. We don't know if that's going to be the case. I'm hoping at the very least that will be the case in order to at least mitigate this issue. And another thing I should mention that's kind of unclear at this point, I can't seem to find any confirmed information on this, is whether or not you're going to need this post-paid phone number on all platforms or if it's just through battle.net. I believe if you get the game on Steam and you already have a phone number attached to your Steam account, then you'll be fine, even if that was a prepaid number. But in doing some reading, it seems like this may also apply to console players as well, which I think would be way overkill and a little bit ridiculous because, well, console players can technically cheat with input-altering devices like Cronus's, for instance. I think those are still extremely hard to detect, and therefore I don't think many console-only players are the ones getting banned frequently for cheating. Instead, I'm sure the vast majority are on PC. Additionally, console players do have to pay a monthly fee in order to play most online games, including Call of Duty, so that's another reason I feel this isn't really necessary when it comes to the console side of things. Another really big thing that's up in the air right now, and something that's definitely got me confused at this point, is with Overwatch 2, it kind of makes sense to have something like this because it's a free-to-play game. So if you get banned, then there isn't really much of a hurdle to create a new account and just get back into it. You don't have to buy the game every time you get banned because it's free to play. Whereas with Modern Warfare 2, this is a paid game. They specifically stated Modern Warfare 2 on the website as well. They didn't just say Warzone 2. And as a result, that barrier to entry of having to buy the game every time you get banned, that should be enough, I would think, to where they shouldn't need to verify a phone number in order for you to play the game that you paid $70 for. It's one thing to miss out on a free-to-play game where you're not really losing anything, it's just you're unable to play that game, and that really sucks still. But it's another thing entirely to spend $70 on a game only to find out that you literally can't play it because of the phone plan that you use. And while I'm sure the vast majority of the player base, myself included, uses a post-paid phone plan, and therefore this isn't going to be a problem for us, even if it's only a very small percentage of the player base that uses prepaid phones, that's still going to be a lot of people. That's a good chunk of people out there that won't be able to play the game they spent $70 for. And to me, I feel like that's taking things a little bit too far, and I really feel for those people that use prepaid phones. and don't have a postpaid phone plan, but they want to play Call of Duty. Now, like I said, if this was for a free-to-play game, I would be a little bit less annoyed by this, but I think it would still be annoying that certain people are cut out from the equation. But I think the really big issue here is the fact that they stated this is for Modern Warfare 2, not just Warzone 2. So that implies that it is for the paid experience of the game, not just the free-to-play side of things. One other factor to mention here when it comes to this is just the privacy concern as well. I can totally understand people that are really apprehensive about providing personal information like your phone number, for instance, just to play a video game, because these days, once you get a phone number from somebody, you can gain a lot of extra information about them from that. And even if the company you're providing that information to is using that data responsibly, what happens the next time they get hacked? We all know big corporations get hacked all the time and tons of information gets leaked out. What happens then? I do think that's a valid concern, although these days it's not too out of the ordinary to be providing information like your phone number. And again, I think most people don't really care all that much, or they might care, but not enough that it would prevent them from wanting to play the game they want to play. At the end of the day, though, I still feel there's a very valid privacy concern here as well. And overall with this, I'm very curious to see how they actually handle this for Modern Warfare 2. It seems like there was a lot of backlash against it for Overwatch 2, and it's probably going to be a very similar story for Modern Warfare 2 if they don't make changes before launch for this. And while I am grateful that they are working on improving their anti-cheat systems and adding more and more systems to buff this up and try to prevent cheaters, and as nice as this might end up being as far as cutting the cheating situation down to some degree at least, of course it's not going to eliminate it, but even if this cuts it down by a noticeable margin, that may be great to see, but is it worth pushing away and alienating people that have done nothing wrong aside from using a prepaid phone instead of having a postpaid phone plan? Should that really be necessary to play a game that you spent your hard-earned money on? In my opinion, no. I think the argument is definitely there for free-to-play games, but not so much when it comes to a game that you do have to pay full price for. And with that, this is where I want to hear from you guys in those comments down below. First up, I'm curious to know how many of you guys that are watching this video don't have a postpaid phone plan, so you use a prepaid number, or maybe you're off the grid entirely when it comes to that and you don't even have a phone number, but you still play Call of Duty. And second, I just want to hear your thoughts on this situation. Do you think this is a good idea to require a phone number from a postpaid phone plan in order to play a game that you paid for? And then what are your thoughts on this when it comes to a free-to-play game? Are you okay with it in one but not the other? Are you against it in both? Just let me know all of those thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.